How is it going? Unless you let it
All right, I think we might be ready. How are the hamburgers? Woohoo! Well, I just want to say welcome to all of you. This is the Bear Creek and St. George Incident Community Meeting. And my name is Rita Henderson. I am an information officer with the Alaska Incident Team. And I have a few guests tonight that will be speaking. So we have a few of our team, and then we have your local mayors and a few of the support emergency folks out here too that will share. So we'll go through all of our speakers, and then we'll have a Q&A at the end to take your queries, and then we'll wrap that up. So with further ado, we'll start with Zach Fleming. He's the Alaska Incident Team Operations Specialist, and he's going to go through a quick round around the fire and give us an update.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Like you said, my name is Zach Fleming. I'm one of the operations chiefs for the Alaska team. And it's a pleasure to be here. Hopefully give you guys the information that you're looking for. There you go. Up. Perfect. Oh, down just a little bit. Okay, that'll work. Okay, so we've got the Bear Creek fire here. What we got going on with the resources we have out here. We're assessing, doing structure protection. Yeah, that's fine. In the Kobe Ag area, the 40-mile area, and then also taking a look over across the Rex Bridge over there in Rexana. And I believe it's Windy Hills. Right. Okay. We also got indirect dozer line heading off the Parks Highway on the north side of the fire, going west, coming around these fingers. Then it's going to be punching down to the south, tying us some cold black for a burnout operation, the weather permits. All the structures coming off the Parks Highway here, all the ones that are road accessible, we're going in there mopping them up. If they're not road accessible, we're going in there hiking. We're using the ATVs, UTVs to get firefighters in there to assess, and also, structure protection, or if it's in a green pocket, or, mopping up around those structures that have been directly impacted by the fire. Main concentration that we've been finding is in the Bear Creek drainage, the Washington Road, June Creek area. Those two areas have been difficult just due to accessibility to get in there. So going in there and assessing, doing those structure triage and start mopping them up. Using the local knowledge, talking to the people that are out there has been helping out tremendously, helping us direct where to go, where to find certain things. So it's a big thank you to the locals here. We got the slop over on the east side of the Parks Highway between that and the river. And, we're in there scouting. Once we have the resources available, we're gonna plan on go put some people in there and assess what we got, and then, put that out. For now, we're keeping it in check with bucket drops from the helicopters or fixed wing support. Working down, so we talked about Washington there. We got the Magpie Drive area, the residents in there. We've done Structure Pro in that area, getting it prepped in case the fire makes it push that direction. We're also putting dozer line around that, just an extra barrier between the fire and those structures. And then we're looking at ways to come across on the south side to go indirect. And so just a lot of scouting is involved in that, and trying to find the best option that we can come up with that has the highest chance of success to keep the fire in between the Parks Highway and keeping it from progressing to the south. We got you know, with the resources we have, we're stretched pretty thin, so we're doing the best we can. Our number one priority is, you know, get the structures that have been impacted by the fire, getting in there, mopping up around them, and the structures that are outside the fire edge, you know, doing the structure pro on it, you know, getting sprinklers, you know, opening up, getting defensible space. And it's a arduous task, but you know, everyone's more than willing, and it's just with the people we have, you know, we're getting through it. And so I believe this is day 2 or 3 that we've been on here, not including all the IA folks. You know, in the IA, this is about a week ago, so we're working really hard. And I gotta say, thank you to all the volunteer fire departments that have been helping us out. You know, we go all the way to Nana, Anderson, Space Force, Healy, the park. We got some task force from, Central Matsu. We got Chugiak, Anchorage set up a task force, you know, Girdwood sent out some help. So without all the help that we've gotten from around the state, this would have been a very difficult, fire to manage, but everyone's been stepping in and helping us out. And yeah, and operations, we say under report. So that's the briefing.
Thank you, Zach. Up next, we'll have Michael Brown. He's our incident meteorologist with a weather update.
Yeah, thank you. I'm Brown, incident meteorologist. I come from the Weather Service in Anchorage, so a little bit up the road here. Why am I here? Why is there a meteorologist on the fire? I'm here for the firefighter safety, to help operations, to help planning in the future. Coming into the fire, you know, looking at what happened days leading up to the fire and the first few days when it was burning, it was really hot, temperatures in the 80s, relative humidity values, teens, 20s. That's typically what we're looking for when we're talking about fire weather. So what do we have the last few days? Well, obviously it's been a little bit moisture. We've had a little bit of rainfall. As far as the rainfall goes, we've had about 1/10 of an inch to about 1/4, maybe a little more in places. But as you know here, it can be spotty. Noticed the last couple of days as we're going down the road, sometimes you see the road gets wet, you go a little further, it gets a little dry again. And that's pretty much how it goes here and how it will be in the next few days. So what do we have the next couple of days? As I was saying, as you probably saw out today, you look up in the sky, it's blue here, you see a shower there, maybe even a isolated thunderstorm or a bigger cloud way in the distance. That's what we're gonna have the next couple of days. Looking around, temperatures and humidity, it's not gonna be like what it was before. We're talking temperatures right around 70 degrees, humidity falling at the lowest, maybe in the mid-30s, but probably closer to about 40% where the fire is. So when I'm talking about fire weather in Alaska, it's not extreme fire weather. This is actually very normal weather for this time of year and not something that's significantly, not a significant, you know, no big red flag conditions here in the next few days. But what we are going to see is dry. So with these showers, with some just isolated showers, it doesn't look like the fire is going to get really any intense rainfall over the next few days. We're looking at spotty precipitation. There might be a portion of the fire that gets a quick 1/10 of an inch or so, but there's going to be probably portions of the fire that get very little rainfall. Then as we look a little bit farther ahead, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we have a little bit of a pattern change in that it'll be a little bit cloudier some of the days, especially Sunday. But we're not looking at any significant wind. Temperatures are still going to be seasonable. Humidity is not going to be that low. So what we're really going to have for the next 5 to 7 days is pretty much typical weather around here that isn't too hazardous. Looking beyond that, there might be a little bit of a warming and drying trend, but that's a week out and you know the weather here. So just stay tuned with that. I think that's all I've got. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. I noticed we have a few people in the doorway. If you guys want to come in and sit down, there's a couple chairs over here on the edge, so you don't have to sit right in the front, but come and sit down. Up next, we have Vicky Edge, and she is our incident fire behavior analyst. So, Vicky?
Good evening. I am a fire behavior analyst. What does that mean? I come into the incident and I look at the fuels that we have that are surrounding our fire. We have ground fuels like the duct, the mineral stuff under the surface. Then we have the surface fuels like the leaves, the limbs, that kind of thing that's laying on top of the ground. And then we have the trees like the black spruce that you've seen up and down the road. I come in and I work with operations and we try to figure out where the fire is going to go and what the activity is going to be for the day. How do I do that? Well, we know that wet wood don't burn, so I have to work with Michael and the meteorologist. He tells me if it's going to rain, if it's going to be humid, if it's going to be hot. And we have some fire programs that we run through other fuels and we try to see how quickly it's going to burn, how fast it's going to burn, or if it's not going to burn. So right now on our fire, we have those three categories. As you can see coming down the roadways, you can see where the spruce burnt. That's from that first big push, right? The blackened trees there, you can see them along the road. So how do they get on fire and why aren't they burning now? We don't have a lot of surface fire right now because we had rain the last couple of days, right? It's like building a campfire. So that's why we don't have the big pushes in the timbers this week like we had at the beginning of the fire. So that's what my job is. We also, you can look today and see it's been hotter and drier than it was the last couple of days. The fire didn't get a lot of rain. We got 1/4 inch in very spotted areas, but on the fire. So that ground fuel, the stuff that's under the surface, it didn't get wet at all. So it's continuing to burn. And today when it got hotter and a little windier, you started seeing a few more smokes. That's going to continue. It doesn't mean it's getting out, that it's getting worse. It's just cleaning itself up. It's very mosaic out there. And there's a lot of green patches that won't burn well at all because green grass doesn't burn well, right? So that's what we're doing right now. But the category of the fire, we do low, moderate, and high. And most all of our fuels are in that low category just because of the weather, not necessarily the quantity of the rain, but the higher humidities, the lower temperatures, and what little bit we got is still just laying there on the ground, keeping that fuel wet. So just want to make sure that we leave you with, we got it in the low stage right now, and there's no threat in the next few days.
Thank you, Vicky. And last but not least, from our incident management team, Jake Livingston, our incident commander.
Hello, everyone. As Rita said, my name is Jake Livingston. So I'm the incident commander for Alaska Team 1. And as Zach did, I would like to recognize all the good work that the firefighters that initially responded to this fire did. The conditions were pretty extreme, very hot, very dry, windy. Those conditions were going on all over the interior the day that it started, but they operated in those conditions for several days without hardly any sleep. So it's pretty impressive what they did. And then all the firefighters that are working under my organization now, they're just tagging on to what they initiated. They're working in the priority areas and just speaking to what my team's priority areas are. That would be, life and property. Property being all the structures directly impacted by the fire, interior, and then all the structures adjacent to the perimeter of the fire. And then specifically, Zach operations did touch on it, but Washington Drive, June Creek area, Bear Creek area, and then up on the northeast shoulder of the fire, the corner of the fire that's closest to the Rex Bridge area, that's a priority for us because of the predominant south winds up through the gap in the mountains here. And just south of Rex Bridge, there's a real narrow area in the Nana River with thick spruce on either side. And we would not like to see it, get established on the other side of the river, right? Cause that just, brings a lot of other things in play, Anderson and, Clear Space Force Station. We have been coordinating a lot with the borough and then the utility companies, GVEA and then GCI. And we, our intent is really to get as much work done on this fire as quick as we can so people can return to their homes and then the utilities can, be reconnected. And then just talking to the firefighters that have been going out, working in the various spots on the fire, they have been interacting with members of the community and it's been real positive. And I really appreciate that. And so do they. So anyway, thanks for that. And that's all I have right now.
All right, thank you, Jake. So that wraps up our incident management team, folks. So next we have Chris Knoll. He's our Denali Borough Mayor.
Thank you to the gallery here. Good evening, everybody. As Rita mentioned, my name is Chris Knoll. I do serve as your Denali Borough Mayor. I appreciate everybody coming out tonight to learn about this fire. We'll talk about resources, and also to say thank you to the community for really stepping up, and it will continue, you know. I wanted to acknowledge the impact. Damage assessment has been a focus of the borough. We're working in partnership with the team to understand the full impacts. As Jake mentioned, that includes utilities, private property, access to up and down the Parks Highway. So, and we're gonna talk more about private property and individual impacts a little later here. And I just also wanted to commend the community, like I said, for really stepping up. I think we expect it. And organizations across the community have really bent over backwards, and I really appreciate that. Wanted to mention, we are here in the Tri-Valley School. We have stood up a shelter here that did shift from the Baptist Church here in Healy. I encourage folks who have been displaced, check out the shelter. There's food, there is access to showers, laundry, access to a number of other resources, including direct financial resources. So please check in. There's no obligation to stay. They're set up on the other end. We're here in the elementary wing of the Tri-Valley School. They're set up in the main part of the building here. I wanted to take a minute and just say to my team how proud I am of their efforts over the last few days, especially this weekend. They've stepped up, and we have just been dedicated to trying to put out as much information as quickly as possible in a very fast-paced environment. So I'm proud of them. And at the same time, we're constantly learning, we're constantly growing. I wanted to highlight I'm reiterating here, but we share our information on the borough website. We share it on our Facebook page, and you can sign up for email updates through our news and announcements on the borough website. And then the team can speak to where else they're posting. But of course, during the fire season in Alaska, akfireinfo.com is another, key resource. As has already been mentioned, I just want to give a shout out. I know we have some of our chiefs here from our local volunteer fire departments. So to them, to your crews, to other first responders in the room, to the team members, really appreciate all that you do. Appreciate your employers in the case of our volunteers, cutting you all loose to do what you've done. And also to all of our first responders, to your families, thanks for making them all available.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for sharing akfireinfo.com. That's where a lot of the Alaska Fire Info information goes, for all fire information across the state. And also Denali Borough, I'd like to second that. A lot of great info on their Facebook page. Next up, we will have Katie Greavy, the City of Anderson Mayor.
Hi, guys. Thank you. My name is Katie Greavy. I'm currently serving as the mayor in the city of Anderson. The city of Anderson currently is the the school in Anderson is currently the home to the incident command post. So as you're coming into Anderson, please be aware there's lots of traffic, lots of people. You want to be going slow as you enter into town. There'll be lots of firefighters out on the roadway kind of walking around, especially in evening time. We did accept in a couple of evacuees to our campground, and we are open to that. So if there's anybody else that needs a place to stay that is interested in staying in an RV or a tent, please reach out. The city of Anderson is here to accommodate you. I do want to say a special thank you to our wildland division. We started a wildland division this year, and they were some of the initial attack. And I also want to say a big thank you to Chief Grimes and our volunteer firefighters, because they've been out working on this tirelessly. They've been out almost the entire time, so it's been fantastic to have them there and to respond. I'd also like to say a big thank you to our community. When I reached out and asked for some donations for the firefighters after the first couple of days, everybody stepped out and we had such an incredible response. So thank you very much to our community, especially the ones coming out of the woodwork to help us mow lawns and things like that, while our firefighters and John is out working on the fire. I want to say a big thank you to Cass Eads, who's our vice mayor. She has been the connection and the contact for forestry. She's been really fantastic about pushing out all the information to our community. If you have any questions, we're posting a lot of that onto the Facebook page and posting out a lot of the stuff that the Denali Borough has been posting. And a huge thank you, of course, to the Denali Borough and all the support that we get there. Thank you.
Thank you, Katie. Up next, we have Horace Shreve. He's our Denali Borough Emergency Manager.
All right, so this is, the evacuation map, that we've had out, and we haven't made any changes to the evacuation status in a couple of days. And we are continuously looking at the ability to change those statuses, preferably downgrading them. However, these decisions are made, by the recommendation of the boots on the ground. The incident commanders, since day one, have been largely where we're getting our information from and making our decisions. However, the final decision does lie at the borough. So we take that information that we get from the fire teams, and we try and make sure that it makes sense for our locals and the time that it takes to notify and also evacuate an area. So if you look at this and you may say, wow, that's really far away, we are taking a lot into account when we're trying to make these. We have zero desire to have anybody out of their homes longer than is necessary, but we'd rather have somebody out of their homes longer than necessary than have somebody in their home when the fire hits their property. So we are aware of the inconvenience that it is to be out of your home. And if you are one of those folks, we are doing our best to make informed decisions to safely get you back in as soon as possible. At this moment, we have the same area and go evacuation. And just for a quick reminder, that's from milepost 260 on the south side, all the way up to the Rex Bridge on both sides of the highway. And then across the highway, we have the Rexana Windy Hills. So basically from the Rex Bridge up to milepost 277 on the east side in go status, as well as the more remote areas accessed by the Rex Trail. Again, that's for the notification time and evacuation time. While the fire is not on the east side of the river, and we know that, we are really hoping to see some containment of the fire on the east side of the highway there before we really want to downgrade those, because one thing we hate to do is let you feel like it's safe to come back in your home if you live in those areas, and then have to quickly notify you that it's crossed the river and now you have no time to get back out. So we're taking that into account. We are having discussions continuously with the incident management team, with the incident commander, the operations folks, trying to figure out when we can make these status changes, but we still have fire. We still have smoke. this is not over. We don't have any containment yet on this fire, so please don't be surprised if we go the other way. If that's what the incident management team advises, the mayor and myself will take that very strongly, into consideration to make sure that life is the priority here. I think that's enough for that, and I'm sure lots of people have questions about that. Please feel free to talk to me. If you have questions about that, we can maybe explain what's going on with that. But we want to make sure that everyone is safe, including firefighters and residents out there. On the other note that I'm talking about is damage assessment. It is extremely frustrating for people to be out of their homes and not know whether or not their home is there. We are aware of that, and we are sensitive to that. We are doing our best to make sure that we allow the firefighters to keep doing their best to protect the structures that are still there, to protect their lives, to protect the other people in the area, while also making a priority to make sure that the people who may have lost a home, especially the primary residents out there, have that information and can start to make other plans. Today, after this meeting is over, we're gonna invite people who own property out there with structures on their property to please come and meet in the room directly outside of here, and then the room down the hall, the first one to the right down the hall, so that we can gather your information and have you help us identify where your property is out there. For a portion of that area, we have very up-to-date information on whether or not a property is there. For a portion of the area, we only have coordinates of structures lost. So it's a little bit patchy on whether or not we can tell you that your house is definitely there. But as of right now, we will be able to verify some that are definitely gone. And we are asking that anybody that owns property in this area, the June Creek and Bear Creek area, to please come and property with structures on it. Please come and meet with us out there. We got room set up to take one person at a time so that we can gather that information, hopefully verify some structures, whether or not they're there. And that also goes for if you may be renting in the area. For the folks online, at the end, we're gonna have a slide here that we're gonna put up. And on that slide, we will have a phone number. We'd like you to give that phone number a call. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take your name and your phone number. And when the people here at the meeting have gone in and given their information, we're gonna go ahead and give you a call back so that we can gather that information from you. And this is not just gathering information and notifying, but also we have a pretty good list of resources that we've put together to give you, so that if you have lost your primary residence, you're able to have some places to go to start making plans for the future. You're about to hear about some of those resources coming up immediately after me. And a few of them at least will stick around after to be able to talk to personally and get some more information. But we're trying to make sure we're taking care of our residents here, and just know that we've been thinking about you, especially those of you who've lost your primary residents out there.
Thank you, Forrest. Good job. Yeah, good claps. Next up, we have from the Alaska Emergency Operations Center, Jana Drake.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jana Drake with the State of Alaska Emergency Operations Center. I want to express my heartfelt gratitude for how amazing this community is. During this incredibly difficult time, we are here to help you, support you through this challenging period. The governor has officially declared, if you have not heard, Bear Creek Fire a disaster. This declaration opens up many doors for you guys to get plenty of assistance and to help you get back on your journey in Alaska. Here are some resources we have available. Please take advantage of them, please. Temporary housing, individual grants. I also have some Red Cross individual program information. See me after the presentation and I will be happy to help you with either the state of Alaska or the American Red Cross. Joining me today is John Ramsey, who has vast knowledge about these and other individual assistance programs.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and I do want to thank the fire department, the rural staff, all of you that have gone through this event, for all the hard work that you've done, and we're here to stand in with you. I have a couple things that I'm gonna have available for you, a fact sheet and a flyer, but I'll go right now what the fact sheet has. The state of Alaska, we're one of the few states in the country that does have an individual assistance program to help people that are affected by disasters, and also a temporary housing program. We have several ways to be able to reach that. We have an online capability for ready.alaska.gov or I should say /IA. We have a phone number that you can call, is 1-844-445-7131. That is our hotline. These flyers are going to be made available to you so that you can pass them out. They're going to be at the rural office. We'll have them available to you. Also, our individual family advance program has several sections to it. One is the housing repair section for that, for your primary home that you've lived in for more than 6 months. And this is made for repairing the essential areas of your home that have been affected by this current disaster. And that is repairs to your hopeful foundations, or if the house burned down. We do have a maximum grant that's available for $21,250. The maximum grant is just that, it's just a max. There's various steps depending on what kind of damage that you might have to your home. But, and also, we have a personal property portion of it. That's if you have essential items in your home, such as your bedding, your clothing, your stove, the computer that you're working with, any specialized items for your home that you need. We have the transportation available, which is 50% of what that next grant is to help with your primary vehicles. It has to be the only vehicle for that home. Now, we always encourage people to go through the insurance company first for your vehicle and for your home, but we are there to help with some of your transportation emergency needs. Medical and dental expenses, if you have gone through your insurance company and you don't have it, there may be some expenses, we might be able to help you with that. And also so far as burial and funeral expenses for that. On our temporary housing program, that's available if you need another place to stay, or renters, we can pay up to 3 months rent. And that's based on the HUD value, fair market value of Virgin Alley, and the number of people in your household and how large was your home that you stayed in. For homeowners, we can go up to 18 months rental. Again, that's based on the HUD fair market value, and we can assist you with that. That's paid directly to you in 3-month increments. Out in the hallway, we have the individual assistance applications that you can fill out and complete. I'm going to be at the borough most of the day tomorrow. And then also Gina's going to be here where you can turn it in, fax, or email it to us. So we're going to have that available for you. On the temporary housing, again, that is where if you're staying with relatives or friends, you have the ability to be able to have a rental agreement with them. And if it falls within those parameters, we can help give those funds to your, if you have made out to your rental agreement, to help you stay there to offset the cost of where you're staying at. On the flyer that we have handed out, that's going to also have the telephone number. It's going to be Monday through Friday for our hotline from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Again, the online is ready.alaska.gov/recovery/IA. The last date to apply is August the 27th, 2025. And the documents we're going to require are the description of the damages or losses and pictures if you do have that available. Home ownership documentation or rental agreements that you currently have. Your insurance information. You have to apply for your insurance information first if you do have insurance, and we get a denial letter from them and we can assist you. The reason why we can't duplicate service with any other agencies, the state is the last resort for resources for you. Personal identification, that is a photo ID. It could be a tribal ID, state ID, a tribal driver's license, and also a proof of occupancy. That usually includes a utility bill, gas bill, electric bill. Now, if you're off the grid, we can just get the cost that you're paying for your fuel. So just show receipt if you're buying fuel for a generator, you have cords of wood for a wood stove that you have, You'll all be assigned, caseworkers, individual caseworkers, for people that do have damages, and they go through individually with you what's required and answer most of the questions. Do you have any questions for me right now? Anything?
It's a habit,
And
right?
the applications are out here.
Okay, all right, well, thank you, John. We'll do questions too, so if you have more for John, I'm sure him and Jana will be around. Thank you. Next up, we have Cassie Eads. She's from our Railville Mental Health.
Hey guys, I'm Cassie Eads. I'm here speaking on behalf of Rail Belt Mental Health and Addictions. I want you all to know that the resources available to you include family services, individual services, youth services. We work with neighbor to neighbor, so there's additional resources there if you need more than that. We have offices that are located here in Healy by appointment only, an office in Anderson and an office in Nenana. So we have a team of people ready and able to support you with resources, education, any materials that we can support with. Just reach out and let us know. I provided information on the table off to the side, outlining a little bit of more information of what we can provide. There's pamphlets there with phone numbers and contacts, all hours, whenever. If I could say one word is just be kind to each other, because remember that everybody deals with things differently. And we all process differently. Sometimes in a setting like this, you may have questions or maybe looking for support about different topics or specific topics, but not necessarily want to raise your hand or have a conversation about it. I have a box on the table with just a card, and if there's anything specific that you want to ask about or get resources about, you could put that card in that box. We'll circle back around and make sure that that information becomes accessible. That way you get what you need. Phone numbers are on the table. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out for support. If you don't know what you need, but you need somebody to maybe help figure that next step out, we're available for that. But yeah, thank you to all of you for being here. Thank you to the communities, all the firefighters. The communication and the connection has been amazing. So I'm grateful to be here to offer support. Thank you.
It's a good resource. Next up, we have David Hawkins from Alaska Baptist Disaster Relief.
Everyone, I'm David Hawkins, and we are with Alaska Baptist Disaster Relief. First thing, thank you for letting us come and minister to y'all. We are a group of 6 from all different parts of the state: Anchorage, Talkeetna, Palmer, Fairbanks, and Kenai. So what we are here doing right now is bringing hope, help, and health to the community in the way that we do. We thank Morning Star Baptist also for letting us set up there. There we do have a shower and laundry trailer if anyone needs that service in the community. Also, we have chaplains. So if you need to talk, we're there for you. We are currently taking applications for cleanup that we will be coming back in July when things kind of calm down a little bit. And we'll be glad to do what we can. We know that a lot of places are very remote, but we are available to do what we can. We're planning on being here for about 10 days, and we can help you with cleanup. We can help you with personal property recovery, those types of things. And so those resources are available. We are taking applications. We are working with neighbor to neighbor. So our concern center, we're calling it, is just a little desk up there at the other end of the school building. And we will be there at this time through July 3rd. And there's no cost for what we offer to y'all. And we're just here to help. So thank you very much for letting us be part of this.
Yes, sounds like the hamburgers were a hit. Okay, and last on our speaker list is neighbor to neighbor, Shannon Walters, and then we'll take questions.
Good evening. I'm Shannon Walters from Neighbor to Neighbor. And I just wanted to give you a little information about us. We're a nonprofit organization and we, okay, thank you. Provide, services, essentials and food for people in Denali Borough from, Anderson to Cantwell. And thanks to this unbelievably awesome community, we are able to provide financial assistance for the evacuees, people that have lost their homes and lost everything. So, if you need that kind of assistance or know someone that does, please see me after this meeting and we can get you hooked up. So you can also go to DenaliNeighbors.com if you want to contribute, or you can also do Post Office Box 26, Healy, Alaska, and send us some money. Thank you.
We had one speaker sneak in here from the Salvation Army that'd like to share some info. So here's John.
Thanks, everyone. I'll be very cautious of your time. I want to respect that. I also represent NARVOED, which is the Northern Alaska Volunteer Organizations Assisting in Disaster. It's how we connected early and sent the Alaska Baptist Disaster Relief out here as soon as we could. There have been quite a few fires in our service area, and so we've been trying to put as many resources out as we could, but we're grateful for their quick response. I think you guys were here within like 12 hours or something like that. So we're grateful for that. It's a great resource to have. On behalf of NARVOED, there are plenty of organizations that are willing to help, especially in after action, and including the Salvation Army, who I'll speak on right now. We're working together with the borough as best we can.
That's been about the same for the last few days, 26,000, I think it is. Just what does that mean? It's not growing, it's staying at 26,000 or what? It seems like it should be doing something.
We have an operations specialist here to help you with that question. Here we go, Zach.
So it was, the acreage hasn't grown, is that correct? Part of that is because of the weather. Sunday was the last really day that the fire was able to move. Then we got that overcast and a little bit of rain, and that knocked the fire behavior down quite a bit. The other thing that we're waiting on is better mapping. When we get a real good perimeter of the map, that acreage will change. It could grow a little bit, it could shrink a little bit, but and of course, you know, the firefighters working the fire, you know, keeping it from going east, north and south. So they're doing what they can to keep that acreage where it's at. I mean, it'd be great if it never grows again. It's just a real big fire and we don't have a lot of personnel, but the weather has been the key factor in the acreage staying the same for the last couple of days. That work? Okay.
All right, do we have anyone else from the audience? We could go to someone online. Kathleen, wait, we're gonna unmute you.
Can you hear me?
We got you.
Okay, my question is, like with the Red Cross, all these forums that they have, could the borough post links to these groups like the Red Cross so that those of us that did not attend the meeting and can't get the paperwork right now can access that information?
Oh.
Hey, this is Boris Shreve, Denali Borough Emergency Manager. If you are a property owner that has a structure out there, we really would like you to call in. We'll grab your email and send that to you. But it would be a huge help for us because we're trying to not only identify if your property is affected, but helping us identify yours will also, we'll know that it's not somebody else we need to be looking for. So if you could call the number that Amber is going to post on here, I don't know if we can just go ahead and put that up, Amber. Then we can get you that information, whether it's easier through mail or email.
Perfect. And I did see a thumbs up that the borough would post some links online after this tonight too. So do we have anyone from the audience We have a green shirt all the way up.
Yeah, I can talk about it.
Okay.
So the cell phone tower that was deactivated, was that something that we deactivated or did the fire deactivated? And will it be back online for the state to go back to our properties?
We don't have a utility company here tonight. Oh, here's Forrest. Maybe you should just hang tight up here for a minute.
I'll stick around, but, so I did get a phone call from ECI today, saying that they have quite extensive, damage of their line, and that they're expecting it to be at least a week before they're able to get that back in operation. I don't know the timeline, but at least a week is what they, told me. So that's what I've got for you right now.
All right, that was a good question. Do we want to go? We're unmuting Darren Mudge.
I'm kind of piggybacking off of that, and I may have missed this because due to the cell tower, I've missed a lot of this meeting. So I'm trying to just skate this in real quick. Is there any word on when power might be restored around this area? I'm at 274.5.
That might be a week too.
Yeah, Hey, this is Zach Operations, and we are working with the power company and GCI. The damaged cables and the power lines that are turned off, they've assessed them. At the moment, it is unsafe for them to get in there. So we're working very closely. We're in tight communications. We have meetings with them at least every other day, sometimes every day. So once we're able to make that safe for the employees of the power company and GCI to get in there and do what they can to fix it, because there is a mass amount of trees laying on the lines. There's still green pockets surrounded by hot fuels underneath the lines. So I can't give you a good timeline. A lot of it is going to depend on the weather and how quickly we can mop up and get in there safely. But that is one of our higher priorities outside of, the structure, life and property, is to get the power and the GCI cables fixed and working for, the community and everybody up to the north of us here.
All right, good info. Thank you.
Thanks, Zach. Anyone else in our audience? Oh, we have another.
Do we know for sure how many structures have been lost and how many families have lost? I mean, I know there could be more than what you know, but there must be a figure. I keep seeing 6, but that doesn't change it.
Yeah, well, maybe Jake's coming this way.
So the firefighters, in the divisions out there they're assessing, they're identifying structures that are there, they're identifying structures that were lost, and then we give that information to the borough. But we have identified structures, obviously, that were lost, but we have not been able to assess every area yet.
But how many do you know for a fact happened?
I guess I'd refer to the borough on that. I don't have the exact numbers or operations.
So from previous incident commander, we were sent a list of 11 coordinates in one area of lost structures, and we were told that there were 6 in another area. But we haven't been able to identify exactly the location of those 6. So we believe at this time it's at least 17 structures lost. And we have begun notifying property owners as we've been able to identify who owns those properties on those coordinates. There are some of those that you guys know, some of those that residents know, and we've either been out there or we've been sent pictures of your own properties. And that's partially why we would love to have you guys help us identify those. But the quick answer, at least 17 is what we've been reporting.
All right, we're still good online. Nobody, okay, we have one,
Back to that question.
The structures that were definitely lost, you said that, you know, the arrogance. I helped build a cabin like 5 miles up Bear Creek, and there were probably 5 or 6 little groupings of homesteads back there. Did any of those make it? They're right in the center.
If you said Bear Creek,
Yeah.
so that is one that we specifically, only have coordinates of lost structures. So in order for us to identify that, we may need your knowledge to help us identify that. We took those coordinates, we put them into, digital maps, and we now have, you know, screenshots of those, the distance from the highway. But we're gonna need some local knowledge to identify those. And I guess just kind of maybe preemptive answer here. We don't know how many are primary residences either. We have notified at least 2 people of their primary residence gone. So that is, that's where we're at this point, is still, we can't say which ones are there or not there without looking at a map with somebody.
Thank you. That's our hand up mine.
All right, online, we have Jean.
So I am one of the people that did lose just about everything up at Bear Creek. Got photos sent to me. The question I have is, with all of the metal and things that did not burn that need to come off the property, will there be any assistance on getting that out? I'm 1.1 miles up Bear Creek.
You want me to know specifics, but maybe something.
Sorry, I didn't catch the very end of that. Could you repeat that?
Oh, okay. Sorry, I just got my headphones on. So, with all of the unburned materials, the metals and four-wheelers and other things like that, will there be a collection place or any assistance on removing them from the property?
So, the borough is setting up the exact plan on what that looks like. But I can tell you this, that, the borough will be willing to accept, fire damage debris from residents, who are out there. However, that's going to be, we're gonna need the names of the property owners for us to be able to have a list to take that debris. And if there's, you know, I'm sure neighbors gonna be helping neighbors in this situation. We just need to know which properties this is coming from, and, we need to positively identify that. But if it's fire damage debris, you know, if there's maybe vehicles out there or you know, piles of other debris that wasn't damaged by the fire, unfortunately, we're not gonna be able to take that. And we're looking at the possibility of trying to see if the borough has any way of helping to transport that. But as of this moment, we're planning to take that if you show up and you were one of the properties affected out there. If you show up at the landfill, we're planning to take fire damage debris.
Thank you.
Sorry, at no cost for those who've been affected. And sorry, yeah, and again, please call at the end of this so that we can grab your information and so we know which one of those properties is yours.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
2 points. First of all, my wife and I would like to express our extreme thankfulness to the firefighters. We have 4 houses on Washington Drive, our business, 20 years worth. When they showed up and asked me to be my first point, I really didn't want to go. They suggested me to go. I've been out there every day working, clearing trees, making it safer. Sacred trees are no longer sacred. After I've seen what had happened, if the firefighters come and say, leave, don't be stupid. Because what's left is ghostly. Number 2, I was hauling brush on it. I can't tell you how fast when they got in there. First, I didn't think they were doing anything, but the fire was up on the ridge, it's hot. But once you guys got in there, how fast you got sprinklers set up on our buildings, how I was hauling a load of brush deeper out of the way from our clearing. And my wife said, did you see that parade go through our yard? And I'm like, what? She said, about 20 firefighters with chainsaws and all kind of equipment just came out of the back. And they stopped that fire line about 150 yards behind their house. They didn't know that was coming that way. Thank you so much.
Pass that along for sure. Thank you, thank you. Well, we appreciate the support. That does not go unappreciated or noticed, right? So. Susan Darby is online and she's unmuted with a question.
Hi, this is Patrick and Susan Darby. Had two quick questions. First of all, how long do you guys expect the pilot car program to be running on the Parks Highway?
Ooh, I knew that was coming because DOT isn't here. Shoot. Okay, here's Jake. He talks to them every day.
So what the team has done is we've ordered contract pilot car services. We're still waiting for them to arrive. We'd like them to arrive sooner than later. We expect pilot car activity to go on probably for the next week or so, but what we did order was 2 cars, right? So there'll be double pilot cars to just expedite the movement of traffic.
All right, thank you very much. And the second question is, we did find out that our home was safe, at least for now. At what point or how will people be notified that they're allowed back onto their properties? What is the process for that?
So, the process for that will be at the recommendation of the incident management team. And again, that's with the incident commander and operations, given the recommendations. The borough will de-escalate the levels in there. And when it is not in go, you absolutely have the ability to go to your properties there. But that notification is, at this time, we don't have really the ability to try and contact every single person. As we definitely don't have the contacts for every person back there. I would say, please keep a pulse on the Denali Borough website, Denali Borough Facebook page, the subscription to our emails. And as soon as the change is made, that's the first place it's going out. So that's the fastest way.
Yeah. That's great. Thank you very much for your help. And thanks everyone for all the great work everyone has been doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and this one, the DOT couldn't make it here tonight, but they are emphasizing everyone's thank you for the patience. Please follow the patrol car. Please. So there's a lot of fire apparatus still on the highway, and that's critical for us to do our job safely. So is there any more in the audience? That was 15 minutes, and I think that's okay. And we'll be here for a little bit too if you guys have more questions. We have a few maps out in the hallway. And then I know Forrest really wants folks to provide details if they can with structures and locations.
I can have them speak on it. When they were going down the highway, were they actually stopping at the pull-offs to let people know? Because I know when I went down to June Creek to look at the fire and see where it was at, I actually had to stop and tell a friend of mine, hey, you might want to leave, because not even an hour later, it came, when it had come down when the highway was closed, he left 10 minutes before his RV that he was living in burned completely to the ground. So I was wondering if they were happening too, as they were going up, to let people know that it was going that fast. Because they didn't get the notification to leave till 30 minutes after they had left.
Yeah, I was not here for when the fire had the big blow up, and but I can tell you that it was they didn't have a lot of people, and the situation escalated really fast, and they were doing what they could do. That's what I know.
All right, everyone. Thank you for tonight. Thank you online. We'll keep you posted on a next meeting, maybe sometime next week. Thank you again.
Yeah.